Hey, welcome to EPN. My name is Victor Lucas, and we bring you the latest in everything cool every single day. And these days, it's directly from my basement. I hope you are all doing very well and are about to have a nice Easter weekend. I want to dedicate our rundown today to all of the gas station attendants who are on the job and making sure that people that need to travel from place to place are, being taken care of and fueled up if they're in full service stations, but also being safe and being taken care of by their employers. But shout outs to all of the essential workers that are working in gas stations today. All right, let's get started with your rundown. Cyberpunk 2077 is one of the biggest games coming out for current-gen systems this year, but you're going to have to wait for the next-gen version. CD Projekt Red has revealed that the PS5 and Xbox Series X version of their new open-world game will not be available when the new consoles launch this holiday season. They haven't revealed exactly when the next-gen version will arrive, but the fact that it won't be a launch window title means it will likely come out sometime in 2021. The good news is that the players who buy the current-gen version will be able to upgrade to the next-gen version for free, if they have an Xbox Series X, that is. Speaking with investors, CD Projekt Red Senior Vice President of Business Development Mikhail Novakowski says that it's up to each console maker to decide if they want to offer the upgrade for free, and although Microsoft is already committed, Sony has yet to reveal if they'll do the same for the PS5. Hopefully they'll let us know before the current gen version lands on September 17th. Yeah, that would be not too cool for Sony to say, no, you got to buy it again if you want it on PlayStation 5. I don't think that's going to happen, though. I think there's going to be so much pressure put on Sony from a bunch of different ways, notably from its competitor at Microsoft saying you buy your software and play it across a bunch of different systems, that Sony is going to have to play fair that way.
Right, that's the cost of doing business.
But it may take them a little while to kind of come around to that idea or to announce that idea, because certainly Sony is sitting in the catbird seat right now. They're sitting on top with the PlayStation 4, and a lot of the ways that they have handled their business for the PS4 have been incredibly successful for them. So let's see how the strategy shakes out. But I do think that backwards compatibility is going to be an incredibly important issue as we move from PS4 to PS5, particularly because we know that the COVID-19 pandemic is affecting production lines all over the place. So presumably, if we do get these new consoles this year, that back catalog is going to become unbelievably important, and access to that back catalog. And if these new machines offer any kind of noticeable improvements for existing software, people are going to be all over that. But yes, I do expect that Sony's going to say that if you buy the PS4 version of Cyberpunk 2077 and you upgrade to the PS5, you'll get that upgrade for free. I think that's going to happen.
All set.
The real-life MLB season has struck out, so the MLB video games are stepping up to the plate. Sony is joining forces with the MLB and the MLB Players Association to bring fans new baseball games using MLB The Show 20. More than 30 real-life MLB players will compete against each other in the game, with the matches live-streamed on Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. Viewers will be able to donate while they watch, with proceeds going to the Boys and Girls Clubs of America and Canada. Baseball isn't the first sport to do this. Real-life Formula One drivers have been competing against each other in the Codemasters F1 2019 game, and many big sports channels have been broadcasting video games in lieu of real-life sports. The first digital MLB match starts today.
Swing and oh my, hit him with the hind into the bleachers.
I think this is wonderful. I think it's a way to have these athletes sort of stay within their community. We know that these athletes all play video games, and they all play the games that they're featured in big time when they're not actually performing on fields and racetracks and courts. And so I think this is a great way for all of these leagues and teams and athletes to participate with each other, but also with the fan bases that exist around all of these sports, and to give back to the community like that and through charities. Awesome. I think this is fantastic. It's going to be good for games for sure, but I think it's going to be good community building in general for all of these different associations.
Two-run home run.
You're going to have to wait until this pandemic is over before you can explore a strange new world. Amazon has delayed their new MMO, New World. It was supposed to hit the PC next month, but with the development team working from home, progress has been slowed and it's been pushed back until August 25th. This is just the latest in a long line of setbacks for Amazon Game Studios. New World is their first big project since they were founded in 2012 as a way for Amazon to break into the game industry. Right around the same time, they bought the streaming site Twitch. They had been working on another project, an online brawler called Breakaway, but that was canceled in 2018. So Amazon has high hopes for New World. Now that it's coming out in August, a closed beta will take place in July. Yeah, you know, Amazon's been a little bit strangely quiet about the games that they are making. They've had teams in development for a long, long time, and it's been troubled, and there's been a lot of people that have left the studios, the various studios that they've had, but they haven't done, an especially terrific job at outreach into the game coverage community out there, the media players and also the streaming sites, and I've never really been contacted. I know they released a game called The Grand Tour last year, a racing game, and it was developed by some people that have some real, chops. And that's the thing about these Amazon Game Studios teams, is that they are made up of veterans, of people that have been in the games industry for a long time. But Amazon is, a retailer. Their core business is customer service and selling things to people. And, that sort of creative space in video games can be a tricky one if you don't know what you're doing and what your targets are and the milestones that you got to hit and how you keep your creative people happy all the way along the way. Sure, you can pay everybody, but I think it's incredibly important to ship games and to build hype and to get people excited about this stuff. And I know very, very little about New World, and we do cover tons of stuff, and I can't keep my eyes on everything out there, but it is curious to me that Amazon hasn't done, better outreach, with people that this is their job, is to cover this stuff. So yeah, this has been a beleaguered production, and it's taken a long, long time. Hopefully all of that information and learning that has come through the development of this game and the other games that they've invested in is steering this company as a studio, as a game publishing house, in the right direction, and they'll start making some games that really, really resonate across our industry. Disney and Marvel want to help audiences escape with some new outer space adventures. Guardians of the Galaxy 3 director James Gunn and Thor 4 director Taika Waititi recently hosted online watch parties for their previous films, and fans naturally asked them what they're planning for the new ones. For Guardians 3, James Gunn revealed that the genetically modified Rocket Raccoon will be a big part of the story, with the film exploring his past and how he became a talking raccoon in the first place. Rocket's backstory has been explored in the comics but only hinted at in the film, so we'll have to wait and see how closely the new movie sticks to the source material.
What the hell does that have to do with anything?
As for the new Thor, Taika Waititi revealed that it will be even more over the top and funny than the last one, Thor Ragnarok. He also confirmed that the two comic relief characters, Korg and Meek, will be back. No surprise, given that one of them, Korg, is played by Waititi himself.
My name is Korg. I'm kind of like the leader in here.
He adds that the other one, Meek, is actually a female, something that many fans already suspected.
Is that some sort of protoplasm, all the stuff that's coming out of you, or are they eggs? Looks like eggs.
Thor 4 and Guardians 3 are both slated to land in 2022, although with most big movies being pushed back, we'll have to wait and see. Man, these are two fantastic movie makers. I love their work. I love their comic sensibility. I've loved the previous films. Thor Ragnarok is a masterpiece. I can't wait to see, what's new with these characters and these storylines and the threads and the returning characters and how the mythology is all kind of shaping into the Phase 4 era of Marvel. This is going to be very, very exciting to see because, honestly, these two have really, really delivered. There was a ton of hype and a ton of hope, and they both delivered fantastic films. It's good to see James Gunn back at the helm with Guardians. As it was meant to be. He really, created a couple of fantastic films with 1 and 2. And so I'm super excited. And of course, there's a lot of pieces to pick up after Endgame and, all of the sort of new tendrils of mythology that's permeating through the different stories, the new shows that we're getting, and Black Widow when we finally get that one. So it's going to be very cool to see these guys, these auteurs, pick up the batons and take us to strange new worlds.
Thor, he's back. That kid on the TV just called me a dickhead again.
One of the greatest filmmakers of all time is still having trouble finding money from the traditional film distributors. Oscar winner Martin Scorsese has begun shopping his latest movie, Killers of the Flower Moon, to digital distributors like Netflix and Apple. The film was set to be financed by Paramount Pictures, but the Wall Street Journal reports that they dropped out over concerns about the film's budget, forcing Scorsese to look to the emerging digital market instead. The exact same thing happened with his last movie, The Irishman, which was picked up by Netflix after being dropped by Paramount in 2017. Digital platforms like Netflix and Apple are looking for the kind of clout a filmmaker like Scorsese can give them, even if his films struggle financially through traditional theatrical distribution. Yep, sign of the times. Scorsese scored big with The Irishman as well. It was a good fit on Netflix, and of course Netflix was able to get it into theaters for a while, and it was, a big heavyweight through awards season. The guy is a master, and he creates indelible films that really, really matter and really register. So it's a huge surprise that, the traditional film industry is finding trouble finding money for stuff like that. But I think it's also a sign of not just what's going on with the pandemic, but a sign of what theaters are really clamoring for, which is event-type pictures. That's why the MCU and the DCEU and movies like Bond and Mission Impossible and Star Wars, all of these things are just massive events that really lend themselves to being seen on the big screen with a huge crowd. What's going on the internet right now is that scene in Endgame where Captain America picks up the hammer and somebody recorded a live audience reaction to that. And it's really heartwarming to hear that. Those are the kinds of cinematic moments that movie theaters really want, but I think the movie theater going public really wants as well. We want to be a part of a crowd and sort of have these huge exultant moments, these moments of on-screen revelry that are just so large that it's hard to imagine. And Scorsese makes big movies. He makes great movies that work on the big screen, but his tales are definitely a little more inward, and there's a lot more going on, behind the eyes of his characters. A lot of nuance and a lot of subtlety, which plays really well on smaller screens as well. And there's a sort of an extended shelf life, I think, when you have these digital services who all are in people's lives in massive ways, and what they need to kind of create permanence and to create that sort of addictive return is work that really stands out. And Netflix knows that very well. Disney is starting to discover that, and I think using the catalyst of the pandemic to start thinking of new ways to distribute the stuff that they're paying for. Very interesting time, but Scorsese is going to make the movie that he wants to make. He's going to find the right partner who's going to pay for it, and we're going to get something incredible. All right, you guys, that's it for our rundown today. Have yourselves a fantastic Easter weekend. We are going to take Monday off and be back with a brand new rundown for you on Tuesday. But we've got a classic episode of Electric Playground going up. We've also got a Sunday feature, so look out for that. I'll have my thoughts on Final Fantasy VII Remake for you very soon, but there's lots of other content for you to check out, so please do. And if you dig our channel, hit that subscribe button. If you like this video, hit that like button. Thank you for sharing. We will see you soon, and until then, play forever.